All right, boys and girls. It's not going to be one of my official vlogs for, daily vlog. I just want to put this out there because it is November 6th, is Election Day. Very important day. So there's not going to be a number vlog or nothing. But I do want to say it's extremely important to go out and vote. Please, please. If you haven't voted, if you're in one of the states that maybe wasn't really voting or you couldn't vote yet, do whatever you can to vote. I know, like, it's hard for a lot of people to get to the polls right now. If you have a hard time getting to the polls, know that if you have a smartphone, like Uber and like Lyft, they're giving like discounted rides to polling stations. So that's a good option for you. So do whatever you can, hitchhike to the polls. Get there. We need as many people as we can to vote. We've already seen record numbers of people voting, so that's good. I just hope that people are voting for the right reasons. People are voting for to bring back a little sanity in this country. I know there's a lot of people out there that are, they're getting a little extreme on both sides, but there's certain sides that are kind of getting a little scary in terms of their they're not condoning certain violent acts that we've been having, and they're kind of like shrugging it off, or they want more of it. That's scary to me. If you're one of those people, stay home. We don't need your vote. Sorry. For anybody out there, left wing or right wing, if you're for our freedoms, if you're for our First Amendment rights, if you're for the right for our, to have good health care, to be protected, if you're for workers' rights, if you're for women's rights, if you have a wife, you have a daughter, if you want them to be protected and have their rights, if you are women, if you are for, if you know your neighbors and your neighbor's a good guy, but maybe he's, maybe you have homosexual neighbors or something, or trans rights, LGBT rights. There's a lot of rights at stake right now. I'm not taking this lightly. This is like the most serious I've ever been in terms of what's at stake here. We've had already 2 years of this, I already say, but lunatic in the White House with complete control, and thankfully he's been very inept in getting a lot of his agenda done, but he's already been doing a lot of really bad things. Like, if you like breathing air, if you like drinking clean water, you might want to get some people in there that might help out with restricting the putting the EPA back in order. Because right now our EPA has been doing a lot of shit because we have someone who hates the EPA running the EPA. He sued the EPA multiple times. Now, there's so many other things in this country that are important to really, vote for. It's at stake. So I kind of want to run through this as quick as I can and just kind of get all my points. We have an administration right now that, yeah, they've been kind of pushing forth their agenda, and if you're for their agenda, yeah, you think you're winning. But let me just tell you right now, a lot of their agenda is objectively bad. For example, you're like, yay, look, they cut taxes. Not for you, or you, or you. They cut taxes for rich people. If you're a rich person, fine. You're happy with that. Trump said just the other day, and he wasn't talking to, middle class people or poor people. was talking to rich people. He said, if the Democrats win, the midterms, say goodbye to a lot of money, or you're not going to be making as much money anymore. He's basically saying like the Democrats will take away rich people's tax breaks. He gave them $1.5 trillion in tax breaks and are planning to give them more. So if you're okay with trickle up economics, that's our money. We work for that. That's our tax money. And who's going to be stuck with the bill? Us, working class. So are you all you Republicans out there happy with that, being stuck with the bill to, what do they do? Oh, they create jobs. They're job creators. So they're going to take your money. That's what they're doing. They're robbing from you. They con you to vote for them. And at the same time, they're reaching around your back pocket and taking your money. Exactly what Republicans did. And at the same time, they're also stabbing you in the back and saying, try to go to a hospital because, we're taking away your health care. That's just what they're doing. There's so much at stake. Oh, God. Back to the tax thing. They say, oh, this is a tax, for everybody. No. You might have got like a few bucks here and there off your tax return. Oh, well. A few dollars. That might help you get a McDonald's this week. So, in 10 years, that all rolls back and your taxes go up. And, the 1% they get, their tax breaks are permanent. There's no going back with that. So, when Republicans talk about entitlements, and they want to cut your entitlements, they want to cut your Social Security. Well, what about rich people's entitlements? They're giving them welfare. I hear a lot of people say that, like, oh, these people taking on welfare, they're lazy bums. Rich people are getting these corporate welfare. That's basically what they're getting. They're getting millions and millions of dollars of corporate welfare. Tax breaks, tax incentives and stuff, and it's pretty ridiculous. So they're shifting the tax burden onto the working people. That's extremely important. Again, things like regulations, I already mentioned the EPA, but things about like he's giving like tariffs to other countries and stuff and doing all this stuff, but that's hurting us. When he does trade wars with China, that hurts us. I just saw a story the other day. These like soybean farmers, they have piles and piles of soybeans that they can't get rid of because China used to buy them from them, but now they can't buy them from the soybean farmers, and so these piles of soybeans are going to be rotting on the ground. That's not good for anybody. They're losing money. That's our farmers. That's American farmers. So the climate is extremely, extremely important. If you don't think the climate is changing, you're wrong. I said before that it's greater that you always see this number of 97% of scientists agree. It's not 97% of scientists. It's 99.9% of scientific papers agree. It was like 13,000 papers written that agree on the science of climate change and what's going on. Different subjects of different ways things are affecting it. But only there's 23 papers out of 13,000 papers that disagreed. Who are you going to side with? If I came to you, say if you had an illness, and whatever your illness had, the doctor said, well, you're not going to live a pretty good life with this illness. You're going to be sick. You're going to be all the time. You're going to be miserable. But you're going to be in pain constantly. It's going to cost you a lot of money, and your life is going to be shit. However, we have a treatment here. We know the problem, and we're 99.9% sure that it'll work. But this one other, this 0.01% over here, probably won't work. What are you going to side with? That's common knowledge. You'd be stupid to go with the 0.01%, right? That's just my point. But get out to vote, please. If you haven't voted yet, vote for goodness. Don't vote for these lying snakes that they're obviously bought and paid for. I know almost every politician, they're all corrupted and bribed, and they don't represent you. But there are some that do represent you. There's a lot of people on the progressive side that they don't take any corporate money. They're not bought off by super PACs. They don't have any of that shit. They get the money from you, and they only work for you. That's the way our politics should work. And people like Beto O'Rourke in Texas, people like Richard Ojeda in West Virginia, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and there's so many others. Who's that boy down in Florida? He's going against Rick Scott. I forget his name, but there's a lot of them that they're not bought and paid for, which means they're going to fight for you because they're working for you. They're not working for giant corporations. They're not going to bow down to corporations or ask when corporations come and ask them for tax breaks or to ask them to cut regulations. That's going to hurt you. They're going to work for you and make sure that you're protected, make sure that you get what you deserve as an American citizen. You're going to make sure that you got your health care. You're going to make sure your education improves. You're going to make sure your children's future is there. That's what it's all about. And we made a lot of progress over the last decade or so to making the world a better place. However, there's a lot of divide in this country because of a lot of reasons I won't get into. But in the last 2 years, any way you look at it, we took a giant step backwards in terms of the overall health of the world and the overall violent rhetoric, the overall lack of truth, the mistrust of science, the stomping on our First Amendment, and our overall standing on the world stage is hurt by this. We're in embarrassment right now. The rest of the world is looking at America like, they put a freaking reality show host as their president. What a joke. Look at the shit they're doing. And it's, if you keep on to say America is the greatest country in the world, act like it. Don't shrug off that, other countries are laughing at us. Look at it seriously and go okay, what can I do to take this seriously and make our country better? And we're not better because we're the biggest kid in the block. We're not better because we have the biggest army, which we do. Which unfortunately we have the biggest army. We have a lot of soldiers that are hurting, and they have to go to volunteer programs like Wounded Warrior Project because our VA system is broken. Because of it's just broken. That's wrong. But yet we could spend, we could up the military budget by tens of billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, but we don't have enough money to pay for our veterans. How right is that? So we could pay to send people to war, but once they get hurt and traumatized and they come back, we can't help them. That's fucking wrong. So the Iran deal, that's just wrong. Trump pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal. The deal was with Iran, straight up, you can't have nukes. You can't make nukes. Turn off your centrifuges. And they fucking did. Thankfully, we have like 5 other countries that are in that agreement with Iran, so they're complying with their end of the bargain. They're still not, but with us pulling out, what's to stop Iran from going, okay, all these other countries, we're going to pull out of your deal too? Because this was a multi-country deal. And people keep saying, like, wrong information about, oh, look, then America just gave Iran billions of dollars. That was their fucking money. We sanctioned them. That's their money. We gave it back to them. When you put sanction on the country, you basically hold on to their money. Because, we're a global economy. And so when you sanction them, you hold on to their money. When you release sanctions because of the deal, you give the money back. It wasn't our money. It was never our money. So now we have all kinds of people in Iran that they're hurting economically because of our sanctions. And people are starving in the streets. And they hate America. You want to stop terrorism, stop pissing people off. And speaking of terrorism, when you see terrorism of any form, call it out. 77% of all the domestic terrorist acts on our soil the last 10 years have been done by white right-wingers. Call that shit out. When you see it, call it out. Don't pussyfoot around and go like, oh, well, look, he was a registered Democrat, or, oh, who's to say this guy's a right-winger? All his ideologies, everything that describes what he is doing, everything that he's been saying, all fits into the mold. When something fits in the mold, that's what it is. No way around it. I can go on forever. And it's already going way too long, but again, it was the last day to vote. Everybody out there that they're scared of socialism taking over this country, all socialism does is saying that we socialize the means of things happening. We socialize medicine. We have social security in this country. Our cops, our fire department, that's socialized because it's all paid for by our taxes. We just want to do the same for our medicine. I don't see anything wrong with that. But meanwhile, while all you people are scared about socialism, you are ignoring fascism rising. That's what we're having right now. So look at the signs. We have a fascist dictator in the White House right now. Remove some of his power. Flip the House. Flip the Senate if you can. We need this blue wave. We definitely need it. We need this for truth. We need this for fact. We need this for decency. We need this for good policy that would help Americans, that would help the working class, that would give us back our dignity, and hopefully defeat the policies that take money and care out of your pockets. So go get to a polling station. I already voted last week. Vote as soon as you can. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends. If your friends didn't vote, go to their house, drag them out of their house, and tell them to vote. It's important. So spread the word. That's all for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Vote blue. Love y'all.